I'm Caribbean Andy. You might remember me from watching another one of these videos a few days ago. I'm a longtime bartender who now just stays locked in his apartment filming cocktail videos. Let's get started. Today, we are going to do some variations of the Negroni. I do have a Negroni video, you can watch that. I also prepared myself a Negroni before we got started, just to have a sort of like a baseline to compare and contrast as we move on. But there's millions, an infinite number of variations to this very famous cocktail out there. And I thought we'd go over a few. There's the left hand, spring Negroni, white Negroni, Oaxaca Negroni, Old Pal. We're not gonna make any of those. Let's get started. Why waste any time? Also, these are all gonna be stirred drinks, and we're not gonna do anything that uses any fruit juice or bitters today. So these are all going to be spirit-based variations. And with the exception of the one that we're gonna serve up, we'll build them all right in the glass. So we're not wasting any ice. If you're the type who likes to serve their cocktails at home on one big rock, I would recommend building in your mixing glass. So you're mixing glass, so you get that dilution. We're gonna start with the Boulevardier. Boulevardier, very straightforward. Same approach to the cocktail. We're gonna do 3 ingredients, equal parts. Just like a Negroni, we're using Sweet Vermouth. For today, we are also going to do 3/4 of an ounce of each spirit for Boulevardier, because that is a big enough cocktail. And then, of course, 3/4 ounces of Campari. And 3/4 ounces of bourbon. If you're someone who enjoys Negronis, you will likely enjoy a Boulevardier as well. It might even seem like they're not even going to taste that different, but it's really interesting. I actually think I prefer a Boulevardier to a Negroni. It's a little bit more full-bodied. I don't know that you even really need, like, a lot of people will use a very botanical forward gin in a Negroni, and I think with the Campari and the Vermouth, like, there's a lot going on in that little glass. So 30 seconds of stirring, by the way. Yeah, I do sort of like what the bourbon brings. Cheers. Oh, it's almost spicy. Definitely more full-bodied compared to, a classic Negroni is very like crisp and piney, and this is Bombay Sapphire in here. This is almost sweet. This is like a little treat. So next, after our Boulevardier, we're gonna do really a variation on the Boulevardier. So this is like a variation of a variation. We're going to do a cocktail called the Ace of Spades. I learned this cocktail through friends and have not been able to find any history of it. If you Google Ace of Spades cocktail, something else comes up. We're gonna do 3/4 ounces of Cynar. Cynar, of course, is an Amaro. It's made from chinarin, which is an extract from artichokes. It doesn't really taste like artichokes. It instead tastes like the whispers of a baby angel. Cynar is delicious. There is also a higher proof version of this, which you could certainly use in this cocktail if you want to get drunk. Then we are going to do no Campari this time, but Aperol. 3/4 of an ounce of Aperol. I've noticed in editing these videos that sometimes I say 3/4 ounces versus 3/4 of an ounce. And then bourbon again. We're gonna do 3/4 ounces of bourbon. 3/4 of an ounce of bourbon. Ice your glass with your hands. Wash them first. Where's my spoon? Stir. So again, this is an Ace of Spades. It's equal parts Aperol, Cynar, and Bourbon. And today we're using Maker's Mark. Ace of Spades. Cheers. This is a treat. I would feed this to a child, to be honest with you. It's fairly low ABV compared to the first two, obviously. A bit on the sweeter side, so I suppose there's somebody out there who wouldn't enjoy this, but I don't want to be friends with them. Our next cocktail doesn't even feature a red bitter liqueur at all. I'm not even sure if this comes before or after the Negroni. I probably have 6 books in my house that could tell me exactly its history, but we don't have time for that. We're going to make a Bijou, which we are going to serve up in our coupe. So we'll build it in our mixing glass. Just like a Negroni, we're going to do gin, 0.75, Sweet Vermouth, 0.75, 3/4 of an ounce. And then here's where we're going to get crazy. Instead of any red bitter liqueur, we're going to use Green Chartreuse. I love the smell of Green Chartreuse. To me, it smells like a green slime. It almost smells like what I imagine Ninja Turtle ooze would smell like, with hints of black pepper. Ice our mixing glass. Some recipes do call for a dash of orange bitters, but I promised at the beginning of this we weren't using any bitters or juice or anything. So I can't go back on my word. Straight into your chilled coupe. And voila. Cheers. Oh! It's a punch in the mouth. Great, next, we're going to do a Negroni variation known as a Contessa. I don't recall the exact history of it off the top of my head, but let's say it's attributed to a New York bartender. It's probably created sometime in the last 15 years. We're going to do Bombay Sapphire, some gin, 3/4 of an ounce. We're going to use Aperol, 3/4 of an ounce. And then we're going to use 3/4 of an ounce of our Blanc Vermouth. Stir it, just like all the others. We're stirring everything today. It just occurred to me some of you watching this might be wondering, why aren't you shaking any of them? You typically, well, you don't need to. When you shake a cocktail, what you're doing is you're adding aeration and you're blending the ingredients. You typically only want to do that when things contain fruit juice or a very thick syrup. So everything we're making today is spirit-based, so they're all going to be stirred cocktails. The Contessa is gin, Aperol, Blanc Vermouth. I'm very excited to taste this. Oh, and I'm not disappointed. This is like a little cherry popsicle. Oh, and you get so many flavors. Honestly, like, this changes throughout your mouth. Like, I like that one. Okay, so that's 4. What do we think the 5th cocktail I was going to make was? Because I do not remember. Oh, now I do. Lastly, for our final recipe today, we're going to make a Rosita. And a Rosita actually has several different published recipes. They're all tweaked. I believe Gaz Reagan published a recipe. There are recipes in the Mr. Boston's guide. You can find a variety of different recipes on the internet. But I wanted to do something that was based in an agave spirit today. You could do a Oaxacan Negroni, but I figured, we have something We have some gin, we have some bourbon. Let's bust out some tequila, baby. So what we're going to do here for this guy, we have some Reposado Tequila. We're going to do a split base. This, by the way, this is not any of the recipes that you'll find. This is my own personal variation of this recipe. So I'm doing 3/4 of an ounce of Reposado Tequila. Then we're going to do a 1/2 ounce of Mezcal. Half an ounce of Sweet Vermouth. 1/2 ounce of Campari. Half an ounce of our Blanc Vermouth. Stir, 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 stir. Oh, smoky, sweet. I would say, honestly, my personal favorite is going to be this Ace of Spades. Thanks again for watching, everybody. If you have a favorite Negroni variation, go ahead and comment that down below. Please do like and subscribe. I appreciate all of your support thus far, and more videos coming next week. Cheers.